Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back. We've got a rangefinder, a laser rangefinder at that, with a 6x fixed zoom, which is also pretty handy because I'm going to call it a third feature. So if I want to, look through this thing and, just look at something and bring it up 6 times closer than from where it is, that's also pretty handy, okay, just even by itself. Then you turn on the power button and you're set automatically by default on yards, but you can also set it to meters as well. There's also a speed setting in here you can change with the mode button, and you can go into a speed mode and you can track how fast the prey is moving, right? That's a pretty cool little feature, right? I kind of like that. Not that I think I'm going to use it much. I'm more concerned about, if I'm out hunting, how far from me to my prey am I, right? And that's why we need one of these, because it helps us pick the right pin on our sight on our compound bow, or if we're shooting with a crossbow and we dialed our scope into a certain range away, we'll know if we have to move our clickers up or down for more or less elevation depending on the thing, right? Now it does chart what do you call it? It tracks from 5 meters minimum, so it's not going to track below 5 meters, but 5 meters to 700 meters for this one. All right, and it is a specific hunting range finder. They got golf ones too, but we don't want golf if we're doing hunting. But these are also good too if you're going to set up like a 3D archery shoot area. Like if you have a lot of property and you want to set up a 3D shoot thing, different ranges for, the different animals within your thing, or maybe you're even setting up an archery club, where people can go and do 3D archery. A rangefinder is handy so that you can say, okay, we're going to set this animal, dummy thing at this range, and then we can put a marker stick and put a label on it and say, this is 20 yards, this is 40 yards, this is whatever, right? And the rangefinder is going to help you to be able to tag that area that you want to do and give it to you within plus or minus of 1 yard, okay, or whatever that works out into a meter. Now we do know that 10 meters is the same thing as 11 yards, right? Now I used a tape measure the other day to mark my target box to where I shoot from, and it's a 30 foot tape. So I had to figure out my math, of course, obviously 30 feet. Well, I need, 33 feet for 10 meters, right? Or 11 yards. Well, I needed 13 yards because I wanted to sight my bow in for 13, 26, 39, and then my final was 26 times 2 is 40, it's 52 yards is my final pin. So my bow is set up to go up to currently 52 yards, okay? Now you can set your bow up any way you want for whatever yardage for each pin, depending on how many pins you have. I've got 4, so yeah, I have that limitation. Some sites have 5 pins, some have 3, whatever, okay? Set it up the way you need to and scope it in the way you need to as well. That's the thing too if you're going to use a scope on a crossbow. Those of us who also shoot traditional bow, well, traditional bow users, we're kind of screwed because we don't use sight pins for compound bows. We don't use any kind of sighting system other than maybe a pin sight that comes across the riser, or maybe we're sighting down the arrow, so that really doesn't help us out much. But it is nice to know, about whereabouts our prey is sitting at compared to us, so that we know, or like I said, our target that we're shooting up. So we want to do target practice and we want to sight in, okay, this is my 13-yard line. This is where I'm at 26 yards, and then I'm onto the neighbor's property after that for me because of I got the front yard usage. So, I can set things up, and this is handy. And we got to try it today when my buddy was over. I finished setting up his bow with him for sighting it in because I did the rest for him already before he got here. So we just had to set up his elevation and windage for him and get him shooting good, and voila, this came in time. It's like, hey, my tape measure mathematics was only out by I think it was 2 feet or something. It was minimal. And it's like, that works pretty good for the tape measure, but that doesn't always work out 100%. And this is I'd say 99% because it's plus or minus 1 yard. So why not? Now, the average review on this is an Amazon choice selling product. Whether you're on the Canadian site or even the American site, it'll probably be the same. There's 9,528 ratings. This thing is a hotcake seller. It's under $100 Canadian, under $100 US, okay? So it's going to be under $100 of probably for, I don't know, however many countries. But regardless of that point, I also got a $10 off coupon applied. So that actually made it $87.99, which was fantastic. Okay, so more savings. Now this thing goes up to 700 yards, which is a lot of yardage. Nobody's shooting animals at 700 yards, whether it's a 3D target or a real live animal. We're not hunting at that range, but we got up to 700 yards to play with. And the 6x zoom is handy. And even just to use it as like a viewfinder, just straight out and getting that, 6x closer picture, that really does help a lot of things out as well for other things, right? Maybe we heard a noise, like maybe a squirrel. Maybe we're a little hungry, want a snack. Okay, we heard it. We know where it's coming from. We just check around and then, oh, we got him. So let's hit the power button and poof, how many yards is he away? Good. All right, we can go, bing, okay, whatever type of thing. You get the idea. So this is made in China as well. It is a Chinese product. A lot of you, I'm sure, are going to be like, made in China. Okay, look, I agree. There's a lot of stuff that is made in China that you wouldn't even want to give Satan, because even that's not nice to him. Okay, but there's a lot of stuff that the Chinese make, and it is wonderful products, okay? And they are made to the American specs or the Canadian specs or the New Zealand or Germany specs, because pretty much every country in the world has farmed out tons of work for the Chinese to make products for us. And, a lot of that has to do with labor and all that, and cost of labor in our own countries. Cheaper to get it made in China. And yeah, we do get defects no matter what. But even before that happened, we were getting defective products no matter what. And yes, there are been some known defective units of this, all right? But there's not all that many defective units, okay? So if you read the 1, 2, and 3-star reviews, take them with a bit of a grain of salt, especially the 1 and 2s. I'm like, dudes, you're going to get a defective product eventually. You just got to be the lucky draw that day, okay? And you got a defective one. But anyways, it does happen with all products, even with musical instruments, whatever, okay? Now, you do get this nice cool lanyard too, which is also camouflage kind of thing. So you can put this around your neck. You can choke yourself with it, so probably not a good idea. You can put it around your wrist, zip that up, keep it on your wrist, that sort of thing. Play swing along while you're walking in the bush, I don't know. Personally, I think I'd rather leave it around my wrist or on my belt in the case, okay? I wish the case would have been camo, though, because I don't know where you live, but we have some rules about colors that you do not enter the mighty kingdom of forest with, and one of which is blacks, blues, and I believe the other one is red. We're not allowed those colors because, yeah, not cool. But you should be okay. But I'm not going to say to go out and do it anyways. But it would have been nice if the case would have been camo as well. Blend in with our clothing that we're wearing, right? Anyways, we do have a carabiner, so we can hook this on in many different forms. Also, we have a belt loop as well, so that's great. Lens cleaning kit, also. Little lens pad wiper thingy, so you can keep your fingerprints off your lenses after you get them on there. Do have a basic instruction manual. It is pretty basic. There's not much to know, man. It's a power button and a mode switch, right? They do have a video, by the way, that you can go over on Amazon. They get right into giving you the full instructions on how to operate everything. This way, I don't have to worry about doing that for you and wasting your time. Then you got this little thing, too. If you need more than 700 yards, they have them right up, I think, over 1,200 yards, etc. So there's a few choices of this particular unit. I picked this one because I figured, 700 yards, and it tracks the speed of my prey if I want to know that. Not that I cared about it. I just needed a rangefinder that had really great ratings. And it was very inexpensive, which under $100 is pretty damn inexpensive if you ask me. I saw a Bushnell one at a pawn shop for the record. They wanted like $229. And like, are you kidding me? It's a used item and it's Bushnell, and I hate Bushnell, so I wouldn't have touched it anyways. But still, this thing can do more, and it costs less, brand spanking new. So it's kind of like, thanks, I'll take the AOFAR, okay? And the Bushnell one, well, that's made in China too, so it really doesn't matter, okay? Yeah, I would just say, you know what? If you're looking for something cool like this, that's what you're going to expect. They have some pictures of images with a camo bag, so, but I seem to be seeing a lot of this with black, so I don't know. Maybe somebody got some camo bag in one of their units. Depends on the unit they bought. This is the HX-700N. They got the HX-1200T, the HX-8001, as well as an HX-1100V rangefinder as well. All of which have 6 times magnification, all have range mode. Speed mode is available on the 700, the 8001, and on the 1100V, but not on the 1200T. Angle and horizontal distance, that would only be on the 1200T, so if you need that feature, it's there. They're all IPX4 waterproof. They all measure yards and meters, okay? So whichever way you want to go with that. Anyway, I'm going to play along, and I'm going to also agree that it deserves a 4.5 so far, and I have tested it myself and checked it, and it's pretty freaking cool. I didn't get an opportunity to check the speed mode because it's not like there were any animals running around today outside, and I didn't even think, hey, we got cars that pass by here once in a while. I wonder if it'll check the speed of a car. We'll have to try that. But if there is an update review to be done that would change my score any, that will be in the archery playlist on my channel. And do check out the archery playlist because that's where I'm putting all my archery content on my channel, okay? So it's a specific playlist. But otherwise, yeah, that's about all I got for you. I think it's a great little unit. Price was great. Functionality, way too easy for anybody to run. I'm pretty sure, you know, spend about a half an hour or so with a 3-year-old and they'd be able to run it just as good as you. Okay, so it's really not that complicated. Even putting the battery in is like a no-brainer, okay? It's like one little cap, flip up the tab, unscrew it, pop the battery in, negative down, positive tip up, push and turn the cap back on, flip the flap back down, poof, and it does come with one battery only, which is a CR2. So should plan on probably buying like a pack of Energizer CR2s because they do have a 10-year shelf life, or even get the Duracells. I don't know the shelf life of the other brands out there. This does not have a normal brand like an Energizer or Duracell, some other brand of battery, but we'll see how long it lasts. But they say regardless in the manual, change it once a year no matter what, okay? This way you know for sure you got a battery. And besides, once you get a battery in here, you also have a little Velcro closure here that you can snugly fit a spare battery in. So yeah, if it does happen to die out in the field, you would have a spare in your case, providing you have it in your case and you brought your case with you. Otherwise, you have to store your spare battery somewhere else within your gear. But I think it's a great little machine. So that's what I got. That's it. That's all. Thanks for watching. Check out my other videos in the archery playlist and any other videos you might be interested in on my channel as well. And until next time, see ya.